Welcome to my virtual campfire. I'm Crystal Kelly. It is times like these that our ancestors would have started telling stories around a campfire, searching for meaning in our existence. We all have our corona stories to tell. Think of our phone as the warm glow of a virtual campfire. Each week, listen to stories from all over the world about how we, as humans, fit into the vibrations of Mother Nature and the universe. Collectively, let's co-create a future through conversation and storytelling and music. With love.
Great. Well, I am so excited today. I am doing this episode with 4 other people, so this is going to be a new thing for me. And I have on our call, we have Alicia Kozuch, Nancy Rivard from Airline Ambassadors, McLaughlin from Clean Water Foundation, and Washington Gibaja Tapia from Peru. And I forgot to mention, Alicia does, her organization is called Buen Power in Peru. I'm probably butchering the name, but we'll let you guys all talk. I think let's start with Washi in Peru, since you're kind of at the ground level of what everybody's working on. Do you want to start and tell us a little bit about your work there and what you have going on?
First of all, I am so happy to join all of you and to send you our beautiful energy from this spectacular country that holds 84 microclimates of the most diversity in the whole planet, and the spirits of our ancient wisdom is always surrounding us, even so through these difficult times, but learning times as well, times of incredible opportunity that is bringing us all together to one heart, and one mission and one vision to make this world a better place for the children of our children. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me, or to join you and to be one today. Our mission in Peru has started since I was born, or since the Inca time, I will say, because the only thing our ancient community wanted is to bring us together like this incredible human being. The name is Pachacuti, the Inca king that united all the divided communities. So our mission is to unite all the communities as possible. And we are still with Alicia and Path of the Heart, Buen Power Peru, One World Connection, and with all of you, continue bringing happiness, bringing food, tools to all our forgotten children, brothers and sisters from all these amazing communities. So we're still working on delivering food packages to all our beautiful, families who live very far away, some of them at 14, 15,000 feet in the Andes. And we hope to continue doing this with all your support. And the only way we can do is we are a team like our ancestors taught us, and to see, more out there of our borders, not just see, the moment, see the future and feel it, because we are living the future at this moment. And Peru is just an incredible place where there are ancient wisdom, there is, beautiful spiritual journeys to see and connect with the sacred rivers, the sacred mountains, and all the ancient energy that is right here. So I wanted to share with all of you we are continuing on the ground, working for making the world a better place. But the only way to do it is we are a team and we work together. So
I absolutely love that. I love how you touched upon that this is a time of incredible opportunity, because despite, you know, anytime we have change, there's going to be struggles, but despite the struggles, I think that what this pandemic has done is it really has released the borders, you know, the borders of country, of place, and we're all one. We're all living on this earth together, and so I love that you said that it is an incredible opportunity to unite and to tap into those ancient wisdoms that I know lie in many areas of the world, but Peru absolutely is a sacred part of our planet Earth. And I would love to hear, Alicia, the work that you've done to help bring, and what I love about this is it's electricity. You know, we have electricity in our bodies, and we need electricity to really to survive and to be prosperous. And tell me a little bit about your energy work.
Yeah, well, great. It's great to be here with everyone today. And in 2000, about 10 years ago, in 2011, I went down to Peru just to do some volunteer work for a year with my daughter. And while we were there, we realized that 6.5 million people in Peru don't have any access to electricity at all. That's 20% of the population. And my background was as an engineer, like many moons ago. And it just seemed like this is like a problem just kind of waiting to be solved. And meanwhile, I had met Washington, and he was living in the town that I was living in. And he's got a huge heart, and he's always done social projects to get out to the communities and just help people in the communities. And together, we kind of cooked up the idea to try and bring light to people in these remote communities in the Andes. And so together, you know, there's an Incan prophecy that says that the eagles of the north and the condors of the south will work together. And from that point on, I feel that the connection that Washi and I have had is the epitome of that connection, because Washi's got all of the know-how on how to access the communities and to speak the local language, Quechua, and how to get things done in a country, in a developing country. And I was coming from the north, and I had a background in engineering and in business, and you know, I could get things done from that end. And so together we formed a social enterprise called Buen Power Peru. And so we were the first company, the first people to import solar lanterns into the country. So we figured out how to do it, got through all the red tape, and have imported and distributed hundreds of thousands of lights to people that live in remote areas of the Andes and the Amazon also. And from that, I mean, that was 10 years ago that we started that work. And from then we've continued on and just continued to do many projects together. As Washi mentioned, through Path of the Heart, which is another organization that's founded in the United States. And our new social enterprise, which is called One World Connections. And in One World Connections, we're looking for whatever opportunities there are. What are really the needs of the people in the community? Washi's got his ear to the ground on that, you know, since he still lives there, and he lives in the Sacred Valley area, and he brings those needs to us, and then we figure out how we can best work with them. So that's how we got involved with the rest of this great group that we have here today. And so now we're looking to bring clean water with Leon and more solar lights through Buen Power, and who knows what else in the future.
I love how you say who knows what else, because you never know where these conversations can lead. And I also am familiar with that prophecy when the eagle of the north meets the condor of the south, is when I believe it's for Pachamama to heal, if I remember it correctly. But I think that is happening, and the prophecy is working, and we're taking the steps and making the connections to be connected. And I think that's the biggest part is helping people and helping the planet, because it's all the same. And I know that you mentioned Leon and his Clean Water Foundation. And Leon, I would love to hear from you how you got connected to Washi and Alicia in Peru, and what you expect to do in the future with your project.
It got connected through Joel, who actually did a donation for the Hopi and Navajo tribe. And he was telling me about the project in Peru, how they were doing food with Washi, and if we could possibly do water projects in Peru. And by being in Peru about 5 to 8 years ago, with World Vision putting water projects together in Peru, I was super excited and say, yeah, we actually was already in Peru doing water projects. And with this newest water units that we have, I think it would fit in those areas that you're working in. When he told me about they didn't have any electricity, and I said, well, we actually developed some solar and no electricity water units that we could do gravity feeding with. And so it was a dream come true when he said, well, let's connect up with Washi and Alicia and try to put a water project together, along with, we had just got a donation for medical supplies with Nancy and those guys from Swedish and Providence Hospital to say, let's put this bundle package together and do water along with the medical supplies and PPE, and eat the global giving deal together like we did with the Hopi. Just do like a repeat of what we were doing with Hopi in Peru. So that's how I got involved. And I was super excited to be going back to Peru, because we had did a very successful project with water when we were doing our solar units. And now we developed these new water units that could do gravity feeding. And like I said, when we sent it to Washi, he said it'll work perfectly. So I was super excited, and that's how I got involved.
I love it. I love how you're able to have creative solutions to very real problems. I mean, being able to do gravity fed water filters is such an awesome solution for a problem that, you know, is very real, and having clean water is just the essence of life. So I would love to hear, Nancy, how you support Leon in the Clean Water Foundation with Airline Ambassadors, and how that works and ties into everything that you guys are trying to do as well.
Yes, well, first of all, I founded Airline Ambassadors to help orphans and vulnerable children as a flight attendant when I was working with American. And that happened after a 7-year spiritual search. My first visit was the Hopi Reservation to visit Grandfather David. And soon after that, I spent a month in the high Andes of Peru. And I knew all about the eagle and the condor. And our work through Airline Ambassadors is about bringing head and heart together, which is part of this overall healing for each one of us individually, as well as for Pachamama, for the earth. Anyway, so I'm so thrilled to be part of this project and to assist in providing both solar lanterns and water filtration systems to Peru. So I had delivered some of Leon's water filters both to the Philippines and El Salvador. And when he told me he was working with the Hopi, I said, I want to get involved. And we actually developed a page on global giving, which is a platform for sharing really incredible projects so corporate people can see them and make donations. And we've done very well. We've raised a lot of money. I think Leon told me yesterday we had 350 units on the Hopi and Navajo reservations. We're really excited about this new hospital supply donation, which we're getting to the reservation soon. And I'm going to mobilize my airline connections, hopefully, to bring the same kind of supplies into Peru.
I just love how there's a need in Peru that Washi has identified, and that all these connections are being made along the way. Alicia's help mobilizing everything, and Leon's creative solutions, and then Nancy, your connections with the airlines to get it all there. I mean, these are all important factors in accomplishing a task that seems simple, but it's quite complex, and it's really neat how everybody uses their highest use to make this happen. I wanted to ask Leon to tell me a little bit more about the Clean Water Foundation and the most recent award that you were given, for people who don't know anything about clean water.
Yeah, I did a presentation at Swedish and Providence Hospital, and they awarded me with a award called Extraordinary Caring and Strength Award. And that's when they said, we want to get involved and donate the medical supplies and PPE. But it was amazing that the guy who gave me the award used to work with Nancy from Airline Ambassadors. So the minute I was telling them about the project that I was doing with Airline Ambassadors, they were like doing backward flips, saying, I know Nancy, and we worked with her, and you guys has teamed up. This is gonna be awesome. So the award almost got expedited along with the PPE and medical supplies. They said, Nancy, you got $1 million.
That's just great.
Isn't that amazing how timing is, and you never know? And I was like flabbergasted when they told me that.
That's the true magic in life, when the synchronicities line up like that. And Nancy, the fact that you had worked with them, I mean, it's such a coincidence, but it's obviously meant to be.
And another thing I forgot to say is that we're actually putting Peru on as a destination on global giving as well. And we're planning to actually lead missions down to work with Washi and hopefully Alicia down there to hand deliver some of these supplies.
We have been put it here for a purpose, I think, to make a huge difference. And the only thing I can tell you is that our ancestors, they look behind the borders. We need to just work on top of every border as possible to get to the right people who needs our help. I wanted to talk about the eagle and the condor. For us, there is a prophecy. The eagle represents the intelligence, and the condor represents the heart. So in the Andes, all our brothers and sisters, they use too much the heart. And many of our brothers and sisters in the north, they use too much just the intelligence. So when the condor and the eagle, they will fly together, there is going to be peace in this world. We need to use both sides in balance to fly really high, to be humble and simple as possible. Many of the things that we are working on are simple. We just have to figure out, the best way to get to our people. And we all are brothers and sisters, no matter what color we are, what religion we are all brothers and sisters because we live in America. we were born in America, and our ancestors said to us, whoever was born in America, from Alaska to Patagonia, we hold the spirit, the energy, the wisdom of our ancestors. So Peru is now in the center of many brothers and sisters, from the heart, from the mind. Eagles and condors are looking this part of this continent, because every 25,000 approximately years, the energy moves from one place to another. So the energy is right here at this moment, which is Lake Titicaca, along the valley, and many other ancient sites. Our ancestors knew that, because it's why they built such an incredible places, vortex all along the way, in the coast, in the mountains, in the Andes, in the jungle of this incredible country. But they didn't see borders that time. There was no such a Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, or Chile. We were just one, Tawantinsuyo. Tawa means four, means the east, west, north, and south. Tawa. Inti means sun, the sun, wherever the sun touches, and Suyo means the four directions that I was talking about. So this is very important. Our ancestors, believe it or not, your ancestors, they were looking more. They were working locally, but thinking globally. So that's what we have to do now, in this kind of meetings, talk about how we can impact globally, but working locally. So I just wanted to show you that, because the eagle and the condor are starting to fly together. So there's soon, with this kind of beautiful souls, the way you are, we're going to find peace, and we will make this world a better place.
I think that's beautiful, and I agree. I know that I've stood at Saxe Woman and in the Sacred Valley, and I've Machu Picchu, and there is a reason that those sites were built, and there is a reason that they're grand, and that they are those are messages that are very deep and very important for the world to understand. And I believe that when you're standing there, I could feel the energy. I know, Nancy, you mentioned that you went on a spiritual, had a spiritual experience there, and I did too. I brought my whole family to Peru, and I think my oldest was 12, my middle daughter was 10, and my youngest was 1. And we did a lot of hiking and a lot of trekking, and they wanted to kill me sometimes because, they are American kids, and I took them to this wild place. But those are memories that are ingrained in their minds, and bridging those feelings and those energies to the next generation is what I think is very important. And I absolutely, I love that we're making this happen, that this is something that is in motion already. And I do believe the eagle and the condor are hopefully flying together in a very beautiful way, and circling.
These ancient sites are all aligned with other vortex around the world. Seems like the one society very advanced, started all these incredible projects that we can see, all around the world. They are all connected, because when you go to each of those ancient sites, you will feel the energy, you will feel the healing, you will feel something that you cannot describe. It's unique. So that's messages are still holding in those ancient places like Amaramuro, or Lake Titicaca and the island of the sun, the moon, Vilcabamba, or Caral, or many other places in Samaipata in Bolivia, or in many other places in South America and around the world. So what I just told you is that one of our native, leaders here said, doesn't matter where you were born, You know, if you were born in Americas, you still hold that important energy, and wherever you go, you know, you will feel that important connection, and will awake these beautiful gatherings so we can work together as a sisters and brothers.
And that's so true. Because I was going to say what Joel's vision was to say, to connect up the Hopi and Navajo tribe along with the tribes in Peru and South America. It's like stretching the hands across the world. And that was Joel's vision when we talked.
And that reminds me of one of the Navajo, they say we are all five-finger people, you know, so we all can hold hands together. And I think that all of the bridges and connections of the indigenous wisdoms are really what we should be paying attention to right now. I think it's, and what were you going to say, Alicia?
Yeah, I think it's a really important message too. It's a message that goes in two directions. You know, so there's so much that we in the North can learn from our brothers and sisters in the South. And there's a lot that they learn from us too. And what we really enjoy doing, and Nancy knows this too, and she talked about her mission trips to go down, is that it's not just us helping people in the South, but it's actually exposing both cultures to each other. So that if we have people who come down from North America or from Europe or from wherever, and they actually get to spend time with our brothers and sisters in the South, and they get to learn more about their ancient ways and about their philosophy on life and so on, and actually see how they live, they take so much away from that. I mean, people who live in the United States and Europe and so on, a lot of them have no idea what the rest of the world lives like. They have no idea what it's like not to be able to walk into your house and just flip a light switch and have light, or have a refrigerator, or have a TV, or have a cell phone to charge, or have any of those things. And it's when we can actually connect the people involved in both cultures to understand the other culture, that I think it gives them a richer meaning for what they should have gratitude for.
I just want to chime in on that, because our work is about giving ordinary people the chance to bring love into action, compassion into action, for two reasons. Yes, it's going to help the children or the families that we're visiting with the solar lanterns and water filters, but it's going to fundamentally change the consciousness of that person that's doing that, because they're in alignment with their soul. And when they have that kind of love and they see the interconnectedness of one to another, they don't go back the same person. That's what our work is really about. It's about awakening to our oneness.
I couldn't agree more, Nancy. And I think that's why all of us were brought together, because we're really on the same page with just with global awakening. And in looking at each other as truly as brothers and sisters, and that it's not our country and your country and so on. We really, really are one on this planet. And that's why it's so beautiful for us all to work together.
Sorry, we came from, you know, every community around this world, they will see as our initiation point for everyone is the star, the Milky Way. You know, is why our ancestors in this part of the continent, they saw the sacred river as a welcoming sacred Mayu's river. They say it's a copy of the Milky Way. So whatever they saw in the Milky Way, they will do along the sacred river. What I want to say with that, that all the communities around this world, they say that we came from the stars. And when we came from the stars, we separated to different places, you know, around the world. So we are the same initiated, that we are all brothers and sisters, we are all connected, and we are all family. And the most important in our missions here in Peru is to teach the children, you know, the tools, to teach the children how to fish, not just give them the fish. We working with farming programs where our families are going back to the land, especially at this time of the world emergency. They are producing now their own potatoes, faba beans, quinoa, kiwicha, that we have one of the most amazing superfoods in this planet. So we are teaching our people, giving them the tools. Of course, they don't have the capability to hire people and to clean their fields that they own it, as a native people. But now with Alicia and with other beautiful people, Eagles of the North, we are helping them to clear those beautiful fields, and now they are farming. Actually, in few weeks from now, all those families are going to be harvesting tons and tons of potatoes that are going to be given to families that can no longer work, like elders or sick people, and they can have food and they can eat the rest, and the leftovers, they can sell it to buy new seeds. So they can keep those farms forever, for generations. So we are not just teaching the people or giving them we are teaching the people how to fish. And that's what important, in our main work with all of you and what we are doing here in Peru. I just wanted to point it out, that important aspect.
And I think that's so true. And the same with the water, by teaching them how to maintain the water units, teaching them about water. You don't have to be an engineer. We can teach the kids. And it's like you just said, not give a fish, but show them how to fish. And that's our whole concept with the water project also.
I know that when I told my kids that we were going to Peru, as the trip was getting closer, they were asking me details about it, like, oh, where are we staying? What are, and when I told them that we were staying not in any hotels, we were gonna stay at a friend of a friend's. She has a lot of little cabins, and when I started explaining that there wasn't going to be a bathroom, you have to go outside to use the bathroom in, it's a shared kind of situation. And they started getting really worried. They were like, Mom, where are you taking us? And then after experiencing them, watching them adapt and seeing how quickly they were all of a sudden, instead of caring about the situation of what they didn't have, they started taking photos, and they started, really looking at, I remember at one point, my middle daughter was taking grass and weaving it together. That was just what she did with idle time on her hands. Usually she would have a phone in front of her face. And, so I guess what I'm trying to get at is that really having the kids from the North learn to lead with compassion, and then the kids from the South learning to use more of the intellectual teachings that you're talking about, Washi. And I think that is perfect harmony. And so I do believe we're very close to a major tipping point and a major awakening where it just becomes more normal for kids to be compassionate and kind instead of, fearful or all the other things that they could be. And so, I think it's all beautiful, and I've seen it in action. I've seen it happen. So, one by one, these things can happen, and day by day.
I just want to add in, because we from the North, with all our technology and all our material things, think we're wealthy. But when we get down there and we give the opportunity to help someone else, what we realize is that the people from the South actually are wealthier than we are. They have time for one another. They have time to hang out in their communities. They're connected to the land, to a sense of spirituality. And that's a fundamental lesson, what you're talking about, bringing the balance.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of music. That's where singing and dancing and really expressing our human bodies comes from. And I know that I know Leon, for one, absolutely loves music, and music plays a very big role in all of this, in connecting us. And I think Washi and Leon want to have something to say. Washi, why don't you go first?
I wanted to say this. We are in the process of global healing and awakening. Okay, this is very important keywords, and we have to be very grateful to the technology that comes from the north. And it's very important. Without that technology, or the symbiosis between the heart and the mind, it won't be possible that we can, interact at this moment. And also to the people who started them many hundreds years ago. You got to know that the lady, who started it was a British lady 200 years ago who started thinking about the computer. It's not just the people today. Okay, we have to honor all of those people who gave their life, their entire life, in order to manifest. Everything is a process. It's not just you guys or us in Peru. No, it's our ancestors who started this beautiful pilgrimage that we today, we can serve humanity in all our multiple levels. And it's very important also not to make our own plan, because many of us, we are living in the people. So it's very important to manifest that and to be just happy. And the answer will be to love you, each to you, in order to express all that beautiful light to the world. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you for that. Leon, did you have anything you wanted to add to?
Yeah, I would say, just like you said, to have an inauguration celebration for clean water and medical supplies and PPE and all the things that we're doing is great, because music unites the world. And when we have these celebrations, just like we did in Peru and in Bolivia and the other countries that Clean Water Foundation was in, was totally unbelievable. And just like what Nancy said, when we were over in South America, to see the kids and the time that was spent, that we in this rat race society that we live in, because we're always on the go, to be able to spend that kind of time is very rich. And to have the music and to spend time, it's a great thing, I think. And we got some great artists too here, and we're planning on teaming up with the artists in Peru to put this whole project together. So, I mean, how cool can it be to have an inauguration celebration with music, water, PPE, food? I mean, it couldn't get any better than that. No, and music unites the world.
And if we're not having fun, then, what's the point? So we got to celebrate the hard work, because I know that all of this isn't easy. These are fun things to talk about, but the reality is that there's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of things that go into all of these projects. But I think celebrating them is really, I mean, music doesn't require any language. We all can hear it. It's vibrations that we feel. And so to really erase borders, I think music is the perfect way to do that.
I think you're so right. And when I learned that, I was actually in Austria at a church there that the Pope had visited a week before I got there. And I'm in the gift shop buying souvenirs, but I hear a Whitney Houston song, "I Still Love You Still." And I'm like, they're playing Whitney Houston in Austria at this church? And the girl that worked the counter said, yeah, that's the Pope's favorite song. So music definitely unites the world.
That's amazing. That's a great
totally
story.
unbelievable.
Totally unbelievable. Like, and the fact that now we even know what the Pope's favorite song is even, I think, really fun too.
Exactly.
Well, I just do think that, like Leon said, music unites the world, and it's the beat of the, when I first went to the Hopi, when we sat around the campfire and we did the drum beat, and then I felt the same energy when I was in Peru and Glastonbury and many other places around the world, Africa and India. And when we feel that music and we feel that heart, it opens us up to our soul. I'm just so excited to be involved with this project and help this virtual concert to happen and spread awareness about communities around the world that need our help. And let's create ourselves being a river of love and goodwill toward.
I also love how we're just the concept of my podcast was a virtual campfire, and it's it really is wonderful that we're able to have these conversations, and like Washi said, to use this technology, it is a gift, and it is a gift from the future, but it also is a gift from the past, because without, like he mentioned, without all of our ancestors and without all the people putting the work in before to make all of this happen, it's a special time in history. And I know I'm really grateful for being a part of all of this, and so much more, and so much healing, and so I'm very grateful for all of you and all the work that you do, and the love that you spread, and yeah, my heart is full. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is totally amazing. It's just like when the last time I was in Peru and Bolivia, and we were putting in a solar water unit. And as we were putting it in, we had people from all over the world that was on a WebEx call at that time, because it was the new technology. And we were interviewing the people there in Peru, and they were like, this is the first time we ever had water. And we were like, wow, this is amazing. And they say, yeah, we had lived in the Amazon, in the jungle. It was wars going on, and we were called the no-name people. And I asked Washi about that area, and he knows the area that I'm talking about. And I said, how could you live in the jungle, no water, and be called the no-name people? And they said, I said, how could you like survive? And they said, we learned how to move forward. We had it in our heart that things were gonna change, and we learned how to forge on. And that just took me to the cleaners. I was like, what an amazing group of people to know how to forge on. And I think that's what we're doing here. We're gonna make sure that they have water, PPE, food. We're gonna forge on.
For all of your listeners that are out there, is that everyone on this planet is a point of light, and that everyone can contribute in some way, whether it's, we're not saying, okay, you have to leave your house and go live in Peru like I did for 6 years to do works like this, or, you know, travel the way that Leon does and make these great, huge projects. But everyone can contribute, either by, you know, helping organizations like ours to do our work, or really also just kind of looking out to your neighbor, you know, and making little connections. Because we found that in our society, that especially with technology, you know, we think that technology connects us, and in some aspects it does. Like today, we're able to talk with Washi in Peru, and with Nancy in Central America, and, you know, I'm on the East Coast, Leon's on the West Coast, you know, so technology is great, but it also helps to isolate us too. And so a lot of times when we're in our own communities, we're isolated from those around us. And one thing to keep in mind is that each one of us can do something just to help our neighbor, just to say hello to somebody, just to smile at somebody, see if somebody needs something, just to talk with your neighbor and find out what their story is, and find out what, where they came from, and what their challenges have been. And that's what really makes us one big global community. So it's wonderful, all the work that we're doing overseas and in the Hopi Nation. It's wonderful, wonderful work. But I really want your listeners just to remember that, every day there's something that you can do to make a connection to somebody else on this planet.
I want to jump in on that because the universe is waiting for us, each individual person, to sound their own note, to be that point of love in action, whether it's to their grandmother, taking care, being a good mother, taking care of your baby, or doing international humanitarian work. It doesn't matter. But the universe is waiting for all of us so we can create a symphony of goodwill. Thanks.
Yes, thank you to everyone. I just wanted to talk about, the water. About 1 billion people in this world, they don't have access at all to clean water. 1.8 billion people, they have access sometimes. But believe it or not, we have enough water in this planet. Okay, we have enough water. In Peru, we have the whole Andes, which is 70 miles long of the Andes is located in Peru. So we have incredible amounts of water. There is Baikal Lake in Siberia, which holds 20% of the sweet water of the running water in the planet. We have enough water. The only issue is that the technology costs to bring water to these communities. And that's probably what our biggest challenges are. Water, there's enough in our Pachamama, like our ancestors used to say, on Mamacocha, which is the big lake. Now we have technologies in other places. They are turning this salty water into clean water, like in Galapagos, or other areas around the world. So there is enough water. It's just everything became to pipe the water, to transport the water from one place to another place. That's what it makes expensive, and people cannot afford that. Many communities cannot afford that. So there is enough water in the planet. It's just how we get them to our people. So thank you to Brother Leon and to all of you for thinking about these beautiful machines, clean water systems, so we can provide clean water to all these beautiful children that could be our children, could be us when we were children. I was living in the mountain when I was a kid, and I will walk 2 hours to school every day, one way, and 2 hours going back to the mountain. So every day. So I see children today walking 2-3 hours still from these mountains. So they don't have the potable water. So one of the biggest deaths in this area in the Andes is because they drink water from the springs, or dirty, and their tummy are full of bacteria and those kind of things. You can see the children, their big tummy, and that's because of the consequence of the dirty water that they drink, and if we can pipe the oil from Canada to Mexico or to the United States, I think we can pipe water to all the planet. There is no, there's not an answer for that. In Peru, we have the Amazon River, which is a huge source of clean water, the Amazon, that just goes into the ocean. you know, and this river is the biggest river in the world that has, in some parts, 10 to 20 miles wider of clean water that is running every day. So there is enough water in the planet. It's just how we make possible to transport them into the right people and to the family's needs in the whole planet.
I also think one of the magical things I think of water is its ability to clean, to be able to be cleaned. You know, dirty water can turn clean, salty water can turn pure. You know, it's the amazing just molecular structure of water is it's magic. I don't know any other way to describe it. And I think you're right. Most of our planet is covered with water. Most of our bodies are made of water. And so water should be, at least in my opinion, at the very top of all of the conversations that governments have, you know, more so than anything else. I think clean water should be a topic that everybody talks about, and I think it's actually not very common to talk about it. So it's really it's exhilarating and exciting to me to hear all of you guys talk about it and to take steps and actions to make a positive change. You know, even if it's a small, even if one of Leon's water filters is for one household, that's one more household that has clean water. And those children with the big tummies and the, you know, all those things can be healed with the right proper action and steps. And so I'm excited to have these conversations because I think it raises the vibrations and it makes people hopefully think in a little bit more of a connected way of everything that we're talking about. Because I think, to bring it back to what Washi first started the conversation, is that we are all in this together and we are united.
I would like to say, if anyone would like to donate for the cause, they can go to Nancy's website and my website and donate, and just put for Peru. And our website is www.cleanwaterfoundationwa.org. And Nancy,
I'll provide links to all of that too. And
Nancy, if you want to talk about your website, that people can donate.
www.airlineamb.org. We're going to have a post up there the next day about the Peru project, and we would love to receive donations, and we'll be able to receive donations right away on the homepage.
Perfect. I'll provide all those links to everybody.
So we have still time or no?
Yes, this is a campfire.
Okay.
This is all.
I wanted to just to invite all of you to, you know, close your eyes for a few seconds and breathe very deeply, and take that breath in your heart and your mind, and just feel these beautiful connections, you know, and with your right hand touch your heart, you know, and with your left hand touch your mind, okay, and just connect both sides together and just feel that energy, feel that connection, and enjoy. Breathe very deeply, and we will manifest all those beautiful ideas, plans that we have, and we will ask Pachamama and the great spirits of Wakantonka and the spirits of all directions to support our hearts and our minds, and to allow, you know, the eagle and the condor fly together to bring more opportunities in this beautiful planet. So breathe very deeply, and thank you so much to all of you.
Thank you so much. And actually, Nancy and I have a call talking to the medical people about bringing those medical supplies in. So we have to leave right now, but thank you so much. And hopefully we're going to have some great news for you from this next call.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
See you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening to my virtual campfire. I'm humbled and grateful, and with heartfelt thanks, thank you for listening all the way to the end. I hope that it caused a vibration or a thought or sparked something inside of you to make a positive change.